Oh boy. Let me do
1
the
minute late.
thing. Oh,
That's all right. We ain't got no viewers yet.
that's on time for us.
1 minuto.
Share. Then go find Grupo. Reboot. Post. Buttons. Make sure I've turned that shit down.
What's the volume look like? So you are on. Speaking to that one.
Ooh.
That's 2. I am 3. 4 must be over there, so we're gonna turn 4 all the way down. How about we just turn 4 off? So we wait for a couple folks to jump on real quick. Let's see what the.
You forgot to what?
The yellow one. I just hit a button.
Susan Green. Good morning.
We got somebody on?
Yeah, it popped up on my screen. It says Susan Green is watching.
I can't see it.
Yeah, I know. It's still showing 0 up there.
Okay. What's up, Miss Green? How you doing?
Oh, karate food.
Oh, I see one.
And a heart. There we go.
So, what's on the schedule for today? This morning.
More wake up juice.
Wake up juice. You gotta be careful with that stuff,
No. No, it's kept me going for this long. Ooh, free index card. It's kept me going for this long, man. I'm probably going to down these until I get old and die.
I can't drink them like that. Or I can't even touch a Monster.
Oh God, no! Monster's too sweet and smells too chemically.
Yeah,
like ugh.
Meat freaks. What's up? What's up, everybody?
Hey, Shardy. We got associate producer Clack behind the
El Vice Hefe. El Vice Hefe.
Vice Hefe.
But yeah, thanks everybody for tuning in.
Yeah,
but yeah, I used to work at a motorcycle dealership, a Honda dealership, when I was living in Houston for a while, and they had a racing team, like a dirt bike racing team.
Mm-hmm.
They're sponsored by Monster.
Oh shit!
So like we could just get all the Monster we wanted, So I would just go to a vending machine. We didn't have to pay; you just hit the button and you know.
Yeah.
But it's like I could feel the. I don't even know what it is, but you can feel it, like the caffeine. You know what I mean? And like you can feel it, like working through you. But it's real caffeine-y, if that's even a word.
That is definitely not a word, but it's getting written down.
Caffeine-y.
Yeah, no. So when I was in the Army, any acre pain you got was treated with ibuprofen, 800 milligram pills. They tell you take 2, so you're taking 1,600 at a time. And then every soldier I know that wasn't a Mormon would down a Monster behind it. For the longest while, I was taking 2 of those and then downing a Monster BFC, like those massive, like 30-ounce cans.
Oh man, no. What's up, Miss Smith? No.
Yeah, no. I stopped drinking those after my 4th kidney stone.
Yeah, man. No, I can't.
That shit was rough. And then I swapped over to Red Bull. I've had 1 kidney stone in 10 years, which that's about normal for anyone, honestly. Unless all you drink is water.
That's what I've had 1 in 43. But I don't drink very much soda or pop. I don't, I can't drink those. I can't drink. I might, when I'm traveling, I might drink a 5 hour or something. But I'm more, I'm going to drink a whole lot of Coke. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm going to drink 3 or 4 Coca-Colas. But even then, I'm like, I'm all jittery and, my stomach's all funny feeling.
Oh, man. That's funny because, like, my house, we've got Arizona sweet tea, Arizona green tea, and then whenever I can find it, vanilla Coke. I love vanilla Coke.
That's pretty cool. So did you watch the meeting yesterday?
No.
I did. I was there.
I think I told you last night on the phone, like, I'm kind of giving up on watching meetings around here because it's always the same people saying the same things and not taking input from the crowd, right?
Yeah.
So, city council, I'm just going to pop on with them. There's a whole section of public speaking,
Hmm.
and the will of the people is let known, like, hey, I don't like this resolution. I don't like that it always says to be determined. I really don't like the wording that says any and all things necessary to get this done. Like, what the hell does that mean? Does that mean you're going to grease some palms? Does that mean that you're going to go out and like choke a kitten? Is that what the hell all is necessary, right?
Hmm.
And then on the back end, once everything's said and done, they're still going to do what they want.
That's the part that's sad. But let me just say this real quick. In defense of Royce and the Black Caucus, which I'm a member of, they did that was pretty much very much last minute. You know what I mean? Everybody,
Well,
you know.
that's another thing. Like, that has nothing to do with me.
Mhm.
So me paying attention to it, I don't feel right.
What, the Black Caucus?
Yeah.
No, no, we've got white people that show up to the meetings. I mean, I
Any
haven't been
white
to a meeting.
Republicans?
I don't know, but you know,
Yeah, see, like
there's
that's the other side of the aisle. That's a whole lot of
but
other
see,
from me.
if
So
there were Melissa was there, there were white people that was there. Don was there, and his wife was there. You know,
Melissa and Don makes sense. Well, kind of Don.
yeah, they were there. But you know, it's I don't live in the first ward. I just wanted to go see what we had. Who was up there to replace Eric, temporarily replace Eric
It's sit in
until the
his
real
seat for
election.
yeah. Um, we've seen a couple names pop up.
Hmm.
I've seen Rose, Ms.
Hmm.
Morrow.
Hmm.
She's cool as hell.
Hmm.
A few other friends of 810.
Who? You mean Miss Morrow is friends with a few other people at 18
No, no, no. I've heard a few names, but now I'm drawing a blank.
that were there yesterday?
That are trying to get in that seat.
Oh yeah, no, but they weren't there yesterday though.
I honestly don't think any of them are any of the ones that I think would respect his legacy will get in there.
Okay,
Especially not Rose. Like, I like her.
I do too.
However, she worked hard on the Liddell recalls,
That she definitely did.
and she tried organizing things to help with the Liddell recall. You think Liddell, Quincy, number 4, number 7, or number 9 are going to vote for that?
No,
No.
but here's the thing.
It is nice to see her getting her name out for election time, though.
Right, and here's the hard part about out of the what was it, 5 people that were there, 6. The one lady, the pastor lady, it was her, the guy, the lady with the fro, Liberty, and Rose, right? I'm sorry, I wasn't being funny with the lady with the fro, but the lady that was a teacher.
You usually describe people based off of a physical appearance trait, so okay.
So yeah, and then the pastor lady ended up leaving. Now here's the thing about about being an elected official. Just for the little year and some change that I've been elected,
Mm-hmm.
it's cool to make decisions or to make speeches off of emotion.
Yeah.
But emotion is what drives people to make the wrong decision.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like you can't. It's cool to try to appeal to the masses or to your potential constituents. You know what I'm saying? It's cool to try to, you know what I mean. But when you don't say anything policy based,
That's true.
you know what I mean? Like it's like, yeah, we understand that it's this. Yeah, we understand that we got that. But what can you haven't mentioned what kind of changes to, you know what I'm saying, the policy or what type of and
I think that's missing in American politics, period, right now.
of course.
We don't hear enough about policy. We hear a whole lot of reactionary, just off the cuff shit.
Mm-hmm.
And, oh, I feel terrible about this, or,
Mm-hmm.
just make a decision based off emotion instead of sit down and actually look at the impacts that this emotional decision will have instead.
Mm-hmm.
I want to hear about policy,
Mm-hmm.
specifically policy that pertains to mine and my neighbor's wallet.
That's especially.
Because, I mean, right now, inflation ain't getting no better.
No, it's getting worse.
I want to see government officials as they run, whether it be for dog catcher
Mm-hmm.
or for president, talk about how much they're trying to save us and what policies they have will reduce government spending. Like
Mhm.
dog catcher, yeah, I'm gonna park my truck and I'm gonna walk for so far to do X, Y, and Z, or anything that relates to that sort of deal. And explain to me how you're gonna stop spending more money than you absolutely damn well have to. You know,
Yeah, that's it. It again. That's why I'm like, it's okay to appeal to. Yeah, we got a water crisis. Yeah, we got this. But what are your thoughts on how we can change the water crisis, or how we can move forward, or how we can, like it's okay to, like I don't want to just be pointing this out like I'm harping on this, like, but it's okay to say I feed the homeless and they come to my house, and you know what I'm saying. But
Mhm.
that's not going to change what's the state of the north side. And
Mhm.
I'm not saying anything bad about what she said. I'm just saying like,
No, that's 100%. Like it's cool. Let us know who you are.
mhm,
And give us, that little 3-minute spiel about who you are, what you do, and then after that, explain to me what you're specifically gonna do with a job that writes policy
mhm.
to make things better.
Right, right. So I don't like I said, I don't want to discourage anybody that was there, because it's obvious that everybody was
They
not
care.
everybody, they were this was their first time maybe speaking to public, and and maybe voicing their opinions and their views on things. So you got to keep that into consideration too,
Hmm.
because they just found out that they were either eligible or
Yeah.
eligibility. So it wasn't like they had time to write a you know.
That one trips me out too.
Mhm.
Like coming up with rules midstream about who can or cannot be appointed, who can apply, right? And it also hits me like you don't appoint an equal. That's what is supposed to be happening.
Mhm.
You know, say a manager doesn't hire another manager. That's for regional to do.
Mhm.
And now we are looking at city council appointing a supposed equal. No, well, let's be honest, they're appointing a temporary subordinate.
Mhm.
And yeah, I don't know, man.
Out
I'm
of the people,
pissy.
out of the people that were there, I'm gonna go. I support Ms. Morrow.
Mhm.
I really do. Although
She's a really sweet lady, and I believe she used to be law enforcement.
she
Yeah.
spent 29 years, and you can kind of tell in her deliverance and her kind of demeanor that she's got that, you know,
And so she understands how cops should work. That'd be cool to
of
have on
course,
council.
hell yeah, it would. Now here's the thing: out of the people that were there, that I'd love to see replaced, Eric, temporarily replace Eric. I support Miss Morrow.
Mhm.
But at the end of the day, and this is not anything negative to Miss Morrow, I support Carol. You know, and this is and this is the thing. I wish that they both could serve in some capacity at the same time. You know what I mean? But hold on, Miss T, I'm gonna put this up here. How can they justify select a candidate, and what type of democracy is that? That's the thing. The city council cannot, it can't. And if you remember when the seventh ward thing was going on, um, the mayor himself held a meeting at my college. It was, the
That
meeting
you
was,
got yelled at.
I, me and Mickey got put out. We got asked to leave because, I asked a question that was, I guess it was a little hard.
Yeah, that emergency
Yeah, it was a little
notification said
hard.
no, it's a community. No, up top it says
It says
emergency, you dumb
emergency
mother.
right there. Like, you know what I mean? He didn't like the fact that,
Yeah, smooth brains be smooth braining.
yeah. So, but yeah, but the mayor was the meeting was initially supposed to be about what the seventh ward having a voice and picking their,
Hmm.
you know what I mean? But now that I think about it, I don't even think the current seventh ward councilwoman was there at that meeting. She
No.
may have been, but I don't remember her being there.
Oh,
Um,
hey, Brad.
but yeah, it's gonna be a hard act to follow Eric. That's you can't expect and that's the one thing about us. We can't expect this person to come in and be Eric.
No.
You know what I mean? Like they know whoever it is, they know everybody knows Eric's reputation.
Yeah.
So
Somehow
it's gonna be
nationwide now.
internationally,
Yeah.
you know. But
So it isn't democracy though in that case.
no, it's not.
Um However, according to the funny rules of the state of Michigan, any open political seat needs to be filled immediately.
Mhm.
And given God, what is the Home Act or whatever,
Mhm.
the city has its own right to write the charter and come up with ways to fix an empty seat. So
Mhm.
some cities will hold an election immediately.
Mhm.
No one's in that seat until there's an election.
Mhm.
City of Flint says, no, we're going to appoint someone, and then within 90 days or as soon as possible, whichever comes first, we're going to hold an election.
Mhm.
Knowing Flint, that 90 days is caveated to be 130 days.
Mhm.
So, I mean, there's going to be someone in that first ward seat till probably after August, just if I'm being honest. And it's sad because Eric fought for the first ward. He fought for them to have a voice. He listened to everyone in the first ward that would call him and talk to him.
Eric fought for all 9, but yeah, I know what you. I'm with you.
Yeah.
I'm picking up what you're putting down.
And then to have his legacy blatantly pissed on,
Mhm.
because you know they're going to hold someone until in that seat until 2025.
Mhm.
And just like Candace's in the 7th ward seat, it's like they're just pissing on his legacy. And I can't get behind that, like, because I know they're going to pick a puppet. I know that puppet's not going to answer the phone. They're going to be an absentee member 90% of the time, just pick up a check and then only show up when they absolutely need a 5th vote
Right.
or they absolutely need quorum for something.
I don't necessarily think that. I think that's just who we have.
Maybe that's
That's what we
just
got
me
right
being a
now.
pessimist.
You know, right? I can dig that. I think that whoever it is, who they select is going to be one of those that's going to try to make a name for themselves. So I don't necessarily see them missing a whole bunch of meetings. I don't necessarily see them. Hold on, let me put a Miss Tia put something up right here. These 5 council people have broken federal laws, state laws, and their own city charter, own charter. Huh? They should be ashamed and hold a special election. Flint is starting to be ran like North Korea. William Kim. Hmm.
Well, I haven't been taken out back and shot yet, so we can't say it's too much like North Korea. It feels close sometimes. I give you that.
Man, Miss Tia, I'm not. Yeah, he did. I don't. Well, allegedly, I don't know if he did or not, but you know,
That guy somehow manages to find all of the greatest, bestest deals that there ever were out of nowhere. So we'll just leave it at that because I don't want Wintus to call me. You talk shit about him and he made a live about me. Fuck. I'm sorry, Wintus.
well, we didn't mention anybody's name.
Yet.
I ain't.
Yeah, Wintus is watching now. She's about to be like, yeah, you better not get a live made about me. Watch, she's going to pop up in that chat. No, it's. Is he trying to get into that seat?
Who? I don't know.
I hope not.
I'm not. Look, here's the thing. And let all 11 people or whoever's ghost watching, y'all can hear this. I'm not focused on anybody but one person. I have one candidate.
Mm.
People can take shots at me about whatever, but I'm laser focused on this is what I want to do. I got a task, and my task is to get to Lansing so I can help these people.
Yep.
You know what I mean? We heard this morning about, why don't y'all go to the state representative? Well, shit, we know why. Excuse me, I cussed. What's up, Mr. Brian? What's up, Jeff? Like, it's here's the thing. It's not it's just me, and it's not about a title to me.
No.
It's about affecting as many people as possible. So if I can do something over here on this end that can affect this many people, that's the thing. It doesn't matter if it's garbage collector or math tutor. You know what I mean? If I can help people over here, then I'm going to go in this direction. If I can see that somebody's not doing their job in a certain up to our standards and they're affecting a lot of people, then it's my job to say, hey, let's kind of move this person out the way and find somebody who can, whether it be me or you or
Speaking on state rep, like, and standards. And now this is no shots against the lady, right? Because I've said it before, I'll say it again. I've heard that she's a wonderful human being on the personal side. On the not so personal side, on the professional side, she is a horrible politician. And I mean that by like She don't come. She don't talk. She doesn't really represent, and that's the entire title, right? Representative.
Mhm.
So, what I expect to see from our next one, whether it be you or someone else, I would like to see at least, once a quarterly meeting.
Mhm.
I don't care where you have to go. If it has to be a park and, we're all getting swept around by the wind, but we can still approach and talk to you and have an open climate. If it's, uh, you rent out a spot using your office funds or whatever, I want to see the entirety of Flint be able to walk in there and say, hey, this is what's up with this state law or this state policy. I want to see it changed. Or I like this policy. Can you keep it in place? Or hey, our taxes are fucking insane right now. Can we find a way to lower them
Mhm.
or subsidize them or X, Y, and Z? Hey, there aren't a whole lot of jobs. What can the state do to incentivize businesses to come into this area and set up? Right. And I know it's not something that one person can do.
Mhm.
There are hundreds of other voices
That
there.
you gotta convince to
Yeah.
support you, and then
Like state of Michigan has several large cities, many of them going through the same issues Flint is.
Mhm.
So whoever goes there is going to have to work with folks from Lansing, folks from Detroit, folks from Saginaw, Ann Arbor,
Muskegon, Benton
Muskegon,
Harbor,
yeah, all these places,
yeah.
and be able to sit down and say, hey, what if we propose a law that, this is just hypothetical to bring in businesses to X, Y, and Z, right? Propose a law that if you set up into one of these cities and you hire X amount of natives of this city, because they're if it's a intact business, they're going to want to bring in their own management team.
Mhm.
Cool, fine, Danny. They already know how to run it. But if you bring in X amount or X percentage of residents of these cities,
Mhm.
then we give you a tax break on your let's say employment wage,
Mhm.
because you pay X amount and then they have to pay X, like equal
Right,
that.
right.
So we give you a break on that of say 7%.
Mhm.
Okay, that'd bring things in. Instead, we get
Keep the
people that
people
go
sugar.
along with the get along or
Yes.
don't show up at all.
Yeah.
And I don't think Flint is the only one with this problem.
No.
I think a lot of the UP might have the same problem, but the UP doesn't have
They got
problems,
more.
period.
Yeah, they got more moose and elk than they do people. So they don't. It's like I don't think it
Their
would be.
state reps probably out there with like those hand signal lights for aircraft, like
They do.
doing this, letting you know there's a moose ahead, pull around, mother.
Yeah. No, they're the one. I remember when my dad was state rep. There was the one or two that were from up there. They flew their own private little, planes to Lansing,
Mhm.
and they would stay for a week. So they want to fly back and forth, especially when they were in session. But
Oh
here's
yeah.
one thing that I wanted to say. With these big ass, excuse me, I'm cussing. With these huge tax breaks
Mhm.
that or what do you call them? Like what we gave Ash Capital, we gave them a tax.
It's a subsidy
Yes, yeah,
or tax captures, which is a
whatever.
completely different backwards thing. But
But we
yeah,
got to pay them 72 mil over 20 years, right?
yeah,
So
based off the taxes in their surrounding area.
but there was no community agreement, benefits agreement that was even discussed.
That's
When they,
100%
what I
correct.
mean? Like, so it's like, okay, well, we're gonna give y'all 72 million, and y'all ain't gonna say that you're gonna give us. You said you're gonna give us 3,000 jobs, or was it 300? It was three something.
The crazy thing about that is Ashley Capital, they're just the building owners, right?
Right. So
We don't know who's moving in
the
there.
building.
I mean, granted, I've seen these buildings and they look suspiciously like the one in Livonia that I used to work at for Amazon that Ashley also owned. I mean, suspiciously.
Has there been any talk about an Amazon coming to Flint?
When I last worked there in 2019, I was talking with a L7, which is higher
Square.
levels, huh?
Square.
No, higher levels. Yeah, higher level facility management, and they talk with national level. They said that they had
What I do, Mr. Pfeiffer? I didn't whisper. What I do?
some ish plans on bringing an Amazon facility to Flint in the future, but that was 2019. It's been 5 years.
That was before any of this even was
Yeah,
thought of. You know what I mean?
like they were talking about bringing one up here. So maybe Ashley Capital finally got a building and they might do it, but You can't guarantee jobs though. Well, let's be honest. Like, okay, say Amazon doesn't move in there, now it's a Home Depot warehouse. How
But
many?
are people gonna work there though?
I mean,
I don't really, me personally,
I don't
I don't
know.
care who. I just need people to get jobs. I don't care who. Well, I do care. Let me take that back. But the people here are tired of. Like, they don't even live. They don't even survive. Now we just existing.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's like we just exist now. We like people. You go and people are living life. You don't even got to go far. You know what I mean?
No.
Like you could go out to Genesee County and see how people are living. You know what I'm saying?
Oh
People
yeah.
got multiple cars and 4-wheelers and boats, and they got what do you call them? Fifth wheel. Is that what it's called? The big old trailer that you can live in.
Yeah,
You take
yeah, yeah.
that
Like
wood
art, like yeah,
with the gooseneck.
the camper. Yeah.
Yeah, the camper. Like people be living like people are living, and then you go inside the city limits, and it's like, all right, well,
Dude scrounging up change for a fucking
right.
brown bag special.
Yeah, and then yesterday I saw the sheriff arresting a homeless dude. Like I don't know what he was, but the dude's always sitting there by the highway. You know what I'm saying? It's like, why?
I mean, shit.
Why? You know what I mean? Like dude is already he's in a tough situation. You know what I mean? Like, not true enough. Now this is just me. He might be a little bit better off in jail because it was cold. You know what I'm saying? So at least he's gonna get somewhere that's semi-warm, 3 meals. You know what I mean? And but it's like,
And get a shower.
What are you arresting him for?
Oh, I mean, I've known some guys that once they got out of the army, they purposely went and got arrested because
so they have somewhere to stay.
Yeah, because their plans fell apart.
Right.
So, on the back end of that, we don't know possibly why or what charge or anything like that. And honestly, maybe sheriff was just arresting him because dude figured out, hey, I could do this teeny tiny little thing, get like 6 days, and then the judge is gonna either throw it away or give me a fine that I can't pay anyway.
But then when you look, I agree with that. That's cool. But there's 26,000 misdemeanor warrants that's out here in Genesee County that ain't no, you know what I mean? Like misdemeanors.
Yeah.
How you gonna find 26,000 people?
I mean, maybe like 10 or 12 of those are on one person at a time. I don't know, man.
Obviously, yeah, of course. That's just the way that. And speaking of, why is it that it ain't even the whole Genesee County? And this is just my, me thinking, because I've talked to current and former, county employees. It's like, if you have a warrant in the city of Flint, they don't notify you. They want to pick you, like, it's like they want to pick you up and catch you with something else. So they can trump charges. But but if you live in another part of the county, you get a postcard in the mail notifying you that you need to come and take care of something.
That's crazy. Like, I don't know. When I was hell, it's not even when me and the wife moved up here, lived here for several years, and she got a postcard in the mail from Texas. Saying that there was a bench warrant on her for missing jury duty. She called down there, is like, hey, when was this jury duty? 2017. I was already in Michigan. Oh, okay, no problem.
Yeah, when I lived in Virginia, and I used to race cars and race motorcycles and do whatever.
When you were a younger, crazier man,
my former life, you know what I mean? Like there was, they would tell you, like, we're gonna come get you if you miss court, or in Virginia's a Commonwealth, so some things down there aren't like here. Like if you got like, say, driving on suspended license in Norfolk, that fine might be different than the fine or the penalty might be different in Virginia Beach. You know what I mean? It's different like that. So they'll let you know, like, hey, look, if you don't want to get pulled over in the beach, or they're gonna get you in Virginia Beach. But it's just like it's not like that here. No. They hope that's like, you ain't gonna know.
So there's a perception of Flint that comes from the rest of Genesee County, and I've noticed this. When I was at Williams last week, putting a couple of rounds downrange, and a couple of the guys there asked me, "Hey man, where you live?" Because I hadn't been there in a while, and these are newer faces. I'm like, "I'm in Flint." They're like, "Oh, you need that?" I'm like, "Why?" "Oh, well, Flint's full of criminals." "No, it ain't. What the fuck are you talking about?" But number one, we're at a gun range. Use your best manners. Number two, don't assume anything about anyone from anywhere. Period. End of story. Flint is full of people just like you, just like me, who are just trying to get day by day on oftentimes a lesser income, and with views like that bullshit being spread about. So now there was a time my wife could not get a job with a certain company. I can't remember the company and I won't say it anyway because libel lawsuits are a bitch
Mhm.
because she lived in the city of Flint.
Mhm.
If you lived in the city limits, many places would not hire you, at least back in the early 2000s.
Mhm.
I don't know if these policies have changed or if they've just changed the wording in the policies to make it seem like it isn't so targeted.
Mhm. I remember. I remember. I went to Eastern Michigan University for a couple of years. I remember getting into fights with people about them talking crap about Flint.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like I remember getting in fights with people from Detroit and Lansing, and it's like it wasn't. It's just dumb college stuff, but it's like you ain't gonna talk about Flint.
Yeah.
Now we got people here calling in from all over the country talking about Flint. It's like, hey, y'all see it?
Yeah.
Hey,
I mean,
y'all see it?
it's out there for everyone to see. I mean, hell, even without our commentary with A10, right?
Mhm.
If A10 were just to go pull up to the meeting and stream the council meetings, no shows other than that.
Mhm.
It's out there for everyone to see the blatant corruption,
Mhm.
how they're playing the people,
Mhm.
and how nothing happens on the back end to a lot of these proposals. Like, oh, this is going to do X, Y, and Z. This is going to do X, Y, and Z. Like, you can they've allocated so much money for blight, right?
Yeah.
That was one of the biggest cash grabs I've ever seen.
Mm-hmm.
And then you still, mind you, just filming city council, you still see people go up to that podium and talk about how bad the blight is here.
Mm-hmm.
Where did all this money go? It was an obvious cash grab.
Mm-hmm.
All these resolutions that they write, either they're just words on paper because they don't get enforced. Hey, we're going to do X, Y, and Z. We propose to give here's a fun one. We're going to propose to use the ARPA funds to give our cops a retention bonus or a hiring bonus to stay with us. How long did it take them to pay the cops? And some of them still haven't been paid.
Yeah. I remember they asked for 200,000 to clean to fix the was it the female locker room or something like that?
Yeah.
I'm gonna ask my officer friend today.
Like,
Yeah,
it was crazy. And, I met up with Mr. Bruce Steers last week.
Yeah, yeah.
And,
oh, shoot. I forgot to answer the question. My bad. Go ahead. Go ahead.
oh, my bad. Yeah, we'll jump back to that here in a sec. And he was telling me billions of dollars have come through Flint.
Mm-hmm.
And they're always talking about some progress and change. And yet, you and I can literally drive 2 blocks that way. And we see buildings falling in on themselves, full of mold, fire damage, X, Y, and Z.
Yep.
And that building, any of these buildings, literally driving up that road, have been there since I've moved here.
Mm-hmm.
What progress, what change, right? So billions of dollars come through here. We see no change. We see no betterment, but we see nonprofits. We see these charities. We see certain churches, not all, because many churches are just like, hey, this is the house of God. I don't care. Many of them are like, pass the collection plate and the city needs to pass the big plate. And it never gets to the people. For the longest while, I'd say they couldn't stop the ARPA funds from coming to the city of Flint, but they could stop them from getting to you. They wanted the funds to come to the city of Flint so they could pass to their buddies, the Friends and Family Club. $94 million ripped away and divvied up between several close knit friends. And there's always a common theme between several of these groups that got that money, whether it be a link to Mott, whether it be a link to current mayor, whether it be a link to someone sitting on council or their own nonprofit, or any of these large names that have been running Flint for the past 80 years. The Mott Foundation, XYZ. Most of these nonprofits is kind of like a tree, right? So you got your branch and then the twigs that peel off. That's exactly what it is.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of that money somehow gets filtered back. Oh.
The part about Flint that pisses me off is that it's so click based.
Mm-hmm.
If you don't get down with this click, then you can't do anything. We're not gonna support you. If you don't get down with this group, then you're not gonna, we're not gonna do this.
Yeah,
here's the
I
thing
don't
with
play
me.
that game.
I'm not a click type person.
No.
I'm a everybody person. You know, like if you know me, then you know you might see me at a motorcycle club on Thursday. You might see me playing golf on Wednesday. You might see me bowling on Friday. You know, they're with different people. You know what I'm saying? Like you might see me, you know, not so much of you. I don't have Harley anymore, but you might see me riding bikes with, you know, with the jokers. You know, or even with the drifters. Or you might see me, you know, I'm everywhere. You know what I mean? Like I'm a everywhere type, everybody type person, but I'm a no bullshit and no mess over type person. I want what's up, Jessica? I want like we all. This is Flint. Like, I'm not. This is not a shot at you, Trevor. But a lot of people, you're new here. You know what I mean? But you've seen Flint in this current state.
Yep.
The Flint that I remember, I remember I went to Garfield Elementary. I went to Walker, but then Walker closed. Walker's that building is right next to the administration building, right next to the downtown. Well, on was it Kersley? Anyway, that was a gifted school. There's a magnet school. I went there, but they closed it. They put the magnet students on the second floor at Garfield, and they put the other ones at Doyle Ryder.
Okay.
Doyle Ryder was a magnet school.
Yep.
I remember going to Garfield football games. You know what I mean? There was like always. There were so many elementary schools: Merle, Wilkins, Carpenter Road, Bunch, Brownell, King, Dort. This is just the north side. You know what I mean? Dort. I'm still forgetting some. What's the one Quincy's always mowing over there? Jefferson. There's so many different schools, and now you know now. And this is just not schools. It's stuff to do. I remember clubs. I remember bars. I remember, you know what I mean? Yeah. Like, I remember it's just stuff to do.
Like, you're kind of echoing the sentiments that I've heard from my mother-in-law, from my kid's other grandmother. You know, that Flint used to be not just prosperous, but exciting and fun. You know, lady I met last week, she was telling me that they lived on the outskirts of Flint, but whenever they wanted to go do something, or like say Christmas shopping or such, it'd be a family trip to Flint. All right, kids, put on your best clothes. We're going to Flint. You know, let's not look like a bunch of country bumpkins. You know, and now it's like the exact opposite. Oh, I'm going to Flint. I can slum it. You know,
I mean,
that's a huge reason why I ran, because I heard all these wonderful stories of Flint previous, and I still do want to return Flint to that kind of prosperity, to that kind of, you know, it's a town that adopted me. My mother-in-law and father-in-law took me in without a second thought, without a second question, me being the oddball I am. And I'd like to see them happy again. You know, I've met so many nice folks here. I'd like to see them with, you know, more money in their pocket and a smile on their face. And, you know, like the best way to do that is through better governance, but we're getting governance at a third grade level here.
And the part about that is these people that ain't done jack for anybody but their friends are fighting so hard tooth and nail to stay in position and even get higher positions, but they ain't done nothing for nobody. And then they thumb their nose up at the people. They talk to people like they're stupid, like they're above, like the people in Flint are beneath them. And then they expect, like, how do you think that you're gonna get these votes? The people that you thumbing your nose at, you expecting them to come to say, oh, well, ain't no, we're just gonna vote for you so you can. No, people are tired of that.
I mean, once again, me being a cynic, it's all the same group that control every part of governance in Genesee County, right? How do I trust the votes? We just had a lady in Flint Township get busted for election interference and catch like 2 months at max.
I don't even think she got in trouble. She went somewhere else to start working.
Okay, see, so there's that, right? We knew who the governor of fucking Florida was before we knew who the mayor of Flint was. Several boxes came in
from the first ward. Several boxes came up disqualified from the first ward.
Yep, and then several boxes came in opened, even though they're supposed to be so. So why do they have to actually follow through with their electionary promises. And why do they have to treat the people right? If, just saying, there's a possibility that your vote is as good as the paper that's written on. I mean, don't get me wrong. I'm not saying not to vote. Always go out and vote. That's your fucking civic responsibility.
Yeah.
Always do that. I'm just saying, like, until some things change, I can't trust it.
But there is, and I hate to be like, yeah, there's, but there is one exception to the rule. Me. And I'm not saying, there's several others, but I'm just, gonna speak on me real quick. I haven't made every right decision since I've been on the board.
No,
I'll be the first to admit there's some things that I.
Again, you were also on a slate.
Yeah. So, but again, I'm not a click person.
No.
So whether they thought that I was going to be a yes man and just ride along with the program, they didn't know me. You know what I'm saying? It's like it's cool for you to support this and this and this, but I'm not going to be that person that's going to yes man anybody. If you're wrong, I'm going to say you're wrong. And I expect you to do the same to me. Now, I respect you more if you tell me like, hey, look, Clack, I ain't like what you did. I didn't like that vote. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I didn't like, you know what I mean? I respect, like, that's cool. I expect that. I stepped off I jumped off the porch into politics, and it's like, I learned real quick. People gonna talk about you, that, whether it's true or false, whether they like what you got on, whether they like how you look, whether you pick up your phone or even, bite a donut at a meeting. You know what I mean? Like, and that really happened to me. Like they like, you gonna sit up there and eat that donut? And I'm like, damn,
yeah, motherfucker, I'm missing dinner.
We got it's breakfast. Like, we got donuts for y'all. Y'all don't want no donuts? You know what I'm saying? But it's like, people
I'd be tripping ball. Like, okay, I'm missing a meal to make sure you're getting what you need. I'm gonna get some sugar in me. All right.
We're providing the meal, but that's neither here nor there.
That's neither here nor there. But I'm missing out on pancakes, bacon, and sausage at home to come up here and have a donut and govern. So you're a far nicer person than I am.
I didn't look at it that way, but I understand what you're saying. But I don't expect not to get talked about. Do I like it?
No.
Hell no. You know what I'm saying? Because it's like, people don't know all the information and why all of it. You might hear the little that comes out on the floor, but especially the stuff that goes on.
Yeah, to be fair, there's a lot of prep that goes into every meeting for every level of government.
Right.
You've got research. Some places have staff that'll do research and be like, hey, this is X, Y, and Z. Then you've got background story, and you only get 2 minutes to speak on the floor.
Yeah. I hate, let me just put this out there. I hate closed doors.
Yep.
I hate it. I hate it. That's the part I hate the most about being.
Well, I mean,
I hate it.
You've laid your bike down once or twice. It's hard to remember things without a note.
Yeah,
I'm playing.
So I'm saying though, like, it's like, and then it's just the speculation. It's just the assumption that they back there making a deal, and it's like, it's like, no, we're not. But it is easily. I understand why you could, and then you can't take notes. You can take notes, but you can't take the notes from the meeting out of the meeting. You got to give them back. So it's like, I don't even remember so much what happened in, 5 closed sessions ago, or 2 or 3. I have to go and look at the minutes. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, I hate going in closed session for it. It's a lot of different reasons that I hate it, but I really do. I hate it. It's like, why can't the public find out? Now, when we're talking about people's money and stuff in a specific person in a specific situation, that stuff can't come out. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, no.
Like, you can't be talking about stuff, people's
salaries
and salaries and stuff like that.
Minors.
But I
like that young lady who got in trouble for throwing that chair, right? Yeah, you can't say her name or what the district's actions are, always like what the back end actions are going to be. You guys have to come out and say, okay, yeah, she's being da. However, a lot of stuff had to go in the back room. Understand completely. Don't get me wrong, I'm still suspicious as fuck when that door closes.
And you have every right to, because I remember watching city council years ago. I was like, why they gotta go in the back room for? I want to know.
I want to
know. You know what I mean? Like, but being in it, you know what I mean? Like, you it's like you understand, but I hate it. I swear I hate it. I hate it, especially when it's things to me that I feel like need to be, they don't seem to me to be so pertinent to being back here. Like, why can't they hear this? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, they gonna ask me and I'm gonna be like, well, I can't tell you.
I remember, because there's always a different option for you. And there are several times Mr. Mays didn't participate in closed door sessions. He goes, "Nope, I'm going to hang out here at the folks," and he was still able to talk on what he knew and what he talked on. Like, he didn't get slammed with a lawsuit. Why? Because he didn't participate in that closed door meeting. And then as soon as it came back out into open meeting, he just took his seat again. I mean,
I didn't even know you could do that.
that's what he did. I don't know if you could either, but Eric was a different kind of politician.
Yeah, no, I just know that, me personally, that's my least favorite part of being in public, the public eye is like that closed session thing. It's like they just, it's just they going back there to make a deal.
Yeah,
it's like
that's the first thing that goes through my mind.
I understand that.
I don't trust politics, period. And then you put me into Flint politics, and after a lot of the stuff I've seen, they're going back there to cut a deal.
Yeah. And I just want y'all to know, like, especially, I've missed, or I think I've missed one, but it's all be like taking my daughter to the airport or stuff like that. Like, it's just I'll be choosing to miss meetings, but I don't go back there to make a deal. You know what I mean? I go back there to set stuff how straight, get an understanding of stuff. You know what I'm saying?
And then when you're being sued to talk about a settlement,
right?
I'm sorry,
but no, not a settlement, but that's between the lawyer and whatever. And,
I think you guys have to agree to a settlement before your lawyer can agree to it.
Well, I know we agreed to not settle. Like, hell no, nah. We fighting this one. We fighting this one.
Hey,
but I gotta tell you,
make sure it's like a collect call. Reverse the charges. Reverse the charges.
We fight this one. But no, I gotta, like, I remember the part about having to convince, even at the state level, having to work on the other part of the other side. I remember growing up, my dad had his best friend when he was a state rep. His name was Phil Hoffman. He's a Republican from Jackson.
Okay.
And I grew up playing with with his kids, in the halls of the Capitol. But just you have to be able to get your point across and work with other people. You know what I'm saying? You got to be, especially work with your own side, but you got to be able to go on the other side and at least have some type of influence.
There's an understanding, right? Like, and I've come to this conclusion years ago. Republican, Democrat, whatever. We all see the same problems. We just have different ways of getting to those problems. Shut up, Verizon. No one cares. Anyway, different ways of getting to the solutions to these problems, or different routes. As long as that's understood, I think anyone can sit down and talk about it, right? But in recent years, it's always been red versus blue, them versus us, this subgroup versus this subgroup. Everyone, sit down, grab a fucking cup of coffee. Let's hammer this out. Okay, you want to go this route? I want to go this route. Is there a middle route? No. Okay, how about we follow this route for a little while, then we'll jump on over to this route. We can go back and forth, however the hell to get it done, instead of just fighting for votes. Hey, all right, well, I don't want to work with you, so I'm just gonna funnel money into your district and get you replaced. Like, just sit down, shut up, and get to work.
Yeah, and
stop taking my money if you're not gonna work. Fuck you.
Politics has become so political. I don't know if it's just because I'm just getting into it, but it's like
politics has become so political. Michael Clack 2024.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, like, you can't talk to these people. Now, true enough, me personally, I don't get along at all with the current administration. I don't say get along like it's beef, but it's like anybody that's on BS, I'm not with you. If you out here doing people dirty, and you know what I'm saying, and now I got a voice to say something about it. I mean, I've always had a voice, but a platform. It's like, come on, bro.
You're gonna hear about it.
Come on, bro. Like, don't do that. And then it's so blatant. It's so all in our face. It's so and a boo boo. It's so I got it, you don't. And so I know I'm gonna get it. It's so, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's like,
well, I mean, it's because, like, who's gonna check him? And I don't mean just in words, but like, who's gonna file a lawsuit? Who's gonna file some charges? Who's gonna slap some cuffs? And that's not just on Flint, mind you. That's where most of our focus is. How about state level with our piece of trash attorney general? No one's throwing her in some cuffs for dropping all the charges against Snyder and them.
So let me ask you this.
Remember, which I feel is some blatant favoritism.
Yeah. Remember that time we were on the phone and we were talking about What's up to
Hey, to
you?
you.
We were talking about corruption, and we were talking about trying to open up or start a corruption um, wing of the state police, or
Yeah.
a corruption part agency in the state
Yeah.
police to just investigate corruption,
Like at the local level in your own governance. Yeah. So you
or
can just submit as a
complaints
regular citizen, hey, I have this concern. Is there something that can be looked
that can
into?
be looked
Yeah.
into. Yeah. So how would we be able to do that?
I mean, through referendum on the floor, you can propose uh additional funding to, and you'd have to be very, very careful with your language here, but I think you could. Um, X amount of funding to Michigan State Police or to God, there's like a Michigan Bureau of Investigations, an MBI, if you will, uh, to open up a new
Keep going, but
oh
I'm
to
definitely gonna jump on that, John.
open up a new branch or a office dedicated to taking, what is it, taking tips and fielding concerns on local corruption and then investigating something like that. And it would just be enough to maybe 30 agents that would sit there and, okay, you've got Genesee, you've got uh, what's Detroit in Wayne County.
I think so.
Yeah, you've got Wayne, you've got this, you've got that, and you start, okay, what are the most credible ones? You know, you look through each one real quick, just give it a skim. All right, this is credible. This is someone just writing in chicken scratch. Da, 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 da. Then you take the credible pile and you actually investigate. Okay, I've read this complaint. Now I'm going to use my power of investigation to go and investigate, and then give them the ability to not commandeer, but strongly request police assistance. That way, you don't have to overfund this little agency or this little bureau.
Agency or
Yeah,
whatever, yeah.
it's just all right. They go into the city, and okay, well, city police are kind of being dicks. I'm going to go talk with the sheriff's department, requisition a couple officers from them or a detective or whatever, and then go through it. Yeah, it might be a longer process, but at least people would know that they're being taken seriously, for one. And for two, as many tips as fly in as people have for their local governance, I think you'd see a lot of corruption get cut back after the first like 5 to 10 arrests.
Yeah, just because. Yeah, I do too. So what do you think about John's question? Trevor and Clack, what would y'all do if y'all caught somebody stealing your money out of a safe in y'all backyard or house? I'm just saying, John. What would you do? You're thinking.
I'm thinking how to say this without getting us kicked off of Facebook or YouTube. All right, look. If someone's in my house, it comes down to very simple terms. If you're thieving from me, I'm probably going to kick your ass. If I feel threatened by you, one of us is getting a nice trip to a spiritual plane. I'll put it as simple as that, right? So if you bust in my house middle of the night, well, now I don't know which one it is. So call an ambulance, but not for me.
I'm definitely. I got a family. I'm a Second Amendment. What's this? Second Amendment. Was it Second Amendment? Second Amendment practicer.
Yeah.
I would definitely call the authorities.
Oh yeah.
I definitely would make sure that this flashlight on the end of this whatever, this boomstick, and this green light on the end of this boomstick would be pointed in the right direction.
Yeah.
And my items would remain where they were.
Like if someone busts in my house, right? I walk out of my bedroom armed, and I just see they're picking up my TV. Bro, set that down. He doesn't set it down.
This light's gonna scare you.
Yeah. But there's no twitch in the finger. Yeah. Why? Because it's just a fucking TV. I worked hard for it, but it ain't worth X, Y, and Z. Now, if I see them ignoring all, everything and looking around for more, I don't know if they're looking around for me. I don't know if they're looking around for my kid. I don't know if they're looking around for my wife. At that point, yeah, okay, twitch. You know, my TV, fuck my TV. I don't even use that thing anymore.
Why can't we sue them in that? I don't know.
X and Y privilege. There's privilege for people who are in a governmental position, and whether she is executing her job in the best capacity, in the best interest of the people or not, is near impossible to prove. I mean, we all have our suspicion, and I have a very strong suspicion it's blatant favoritism. But without a paper trail, X, Y, and Z, you have to assume there is an assumption of innocence, just like with everything else, even in civil suits, an assumption of innocence until proven guilty. So without hard evidence showing that, hey, Rick, I'm going to let you off. Don't worry about it. I'm going to kill these investigations, text messages, emails, voice recordings. It ain't going to go through. There's that hard assumption. And
didn't she the one that killed the Rico?
Yeah.
That's what I thought.
Yeah, she took Rico out back in Old Yellerdom.
Yeah, this is just, oh man. Flynn is just.
Why won't Kildee reach out to Biden to help hold? A, Kildee's retiring. He don't care. B, Kildee helped set up a lot of things going on here in Flint, including the reduction in services to the north side, the planned shrinkage, part of the master plan.
Because he grew up like right down the street from my parents on Genesee.
Yeah, like I understand a lot of people like him and have good personal relationships with him. I mean, I believe you told me your daughter worked in his office for a while, right?
Yeah, for the summer.
That's cool. However, I can't let go of that planned shrinkage and all of that. Number two, Biden don't care. I mean, it's Flint. Unless you can somehow capitalize still off the water settlement or another big scandal comes through here, no outside politicians coming through. But they've already got their time in the sun and their press. Biden came here with Obama during water crisis, got a couple pictures taken. He's used those in the past to get votes. You don't care, just like Trumpoid doesn't care, just like fucking whoever the libertarian candidate is doesn't care, just like DeSantis didn't care, Nikki Haley didn't care. I'm just going through all the candidates I can think of. No one fucking cares unless you live here, or unless you happen to be, I don't want to say a fan of the suffering of Flint, but people who watch from the outside our little soap opera going on here. No one cares. There is no help coming unless we fix it ourselves. We are the help.
That's the part that's scary. Because we can't even fill up the city council chambers.
No.
It's just like we fighting a war with limited finances, limited manpower, limited supervision.
Yep.
Limited oversight.
Yep.
Because you got to have a sniper. You know what I'm saying? It's like, what?
Hey, Anna.
What's up, Anna? So it's like we're fighting a war. First off, we ain't got nothing but what's them things that David had?
Oh, sling.
And the sling. Yeah, that's all we got, and they got tanks, trains, and automobiles, and it's like
they're running around in mech suits.
Right, we're that dude in front of the tank from what's that, China?
Tiananmen Square.
Yeah, we're them.
Yep,
that's us. Like, and we got a few diehard people, and one of our generals just died off.
Yeah, like,
you know what I mean? Like,
no one is coming. No one will be coming. It's up to the folks in the city of Flint to fix the city of Flint. But so many are beaten down. After years of fighting and seeing no change. And then we have young ones that don't want to step up. Like, they just want to get out of here. And I don't blame them. Like, there's nothing for them. There's no job here, no future here. All you've got to look forward to here is if you get one of the few decent jobs, people trying to steal it from you. If you don't get one of those decent jobs, you've got a lifetime of depression ahead of you. I don't blame the kids for wanting to leave until we fix this. But we can't fix this without the kids staying to help take up the fight. It's one of those catch-22 infinite loops.
If we could organize this around 810 Day.
Let me see. Couldn't we get people together from across the nation to march in Flint to where
everybody's going to be here for 810 Day? Why don't we try to coordinate some type of...
That's a tornado siren.
It just snowed. It ain't even Saturday. No, they do it on the first Saturday of the month.
Yeah, this ain't Saturday.
That's the emergency notification system horn.
Yo, so the emergency it's a test. Wentz, thank you.
Thanks, Winters.
Yeah, I'm sitting here going, I'm not dealing with no tornado. It's gonna have to pick me up out this goddamn studio.
Yeah.
I ain't dealing with that. But no,
He ain't
like,
here
why
right now.
couldn't, if people are coming, great, fine, dandy, make our voices heard. If not, I don't know what to tell you. Because, like you said, we can't get people to fill Flint City Council. We can't even get people to our fucking school board meetings. We can't get people to our county commissioner meetings. Everyone wants to tune in, but tuning in isn't showing up.
I'll tell you what. 120 mad teachers with signs and T-shirts chanting stuff at you.
They showed up.
Yeah, but that shit'll make you think differently about a whole bunch of stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, not me, because you know what I mean. Like I could only, but I know how I felt. I know, you know, it's like if I wasn't up here, I'd be down there with y'all. You know what I mean? Like,
so I've seen a few things lately, and people talking about a protest in front of City Hall. Mm-hmm. I can guarantee there's not going to be more than 10 people there.
Why?
Flint. Everyone's beat down here.
Ain't nobody really trying to go to jail either. But yeah, so that's what Anna said. So like we said, we need more specialized programming and more access to sports, not just football and basketball. So that's why you're right, Anna. That's why I'm gonna make sure that our new field that we get has. We ain't never had no field hockey team at Southwestern. I don't think. I know Powers does because my daughter played it for a day or two.
When are you gonna add some lacrosse
lines, soccer lines, like all of that type of stuff? But you know, it's just, to me, it's all about exposure. Mm-hmm. If you get, and it's, you know, and I hate to say it because I'm so far away from races, but if you get black people, you get them a whatever, they're gonna learn how to do it. You know what I mean? Like get them a street, get them a racquetball and a ball, and they gonna learn how to play racquetball. Get them a, you know, whatever, and it's just, and that's just not black kids. Let me just say that that's any kids, but we live in Flint,
kids inner city sponges. Kids,
right? So if you give them, if you go over to Southwestern with a soccer coach and a soccer ball and show them like this is how you do this, you'll find kids that play soccer. I did it at my school I just worked at. They didn't have a soccer team. I went out there like, hey, we about to start this soccer team, y'all. Mr. Clack, you know how to play soccer? No, not really, but we can kick this ball. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? You know, it's like I played soccer growing up, but I know that one position gets to run all around the field because he's, you know, that was my position. I didn't know the rest of them. You know what I mean? Like I didn't know I just ran around and got to kick the ball. But my point is, if you expose them to it, you never know. Somebody might like it. Somebody might catch a scholarship. Somebody might go pro.
Yeah, you know like, I mean, that's the same for just about anyone at any age. You're going to find someone that catches that interest, right? Mm-hmm. I never thought I'd be playing tabletop games with little miniature soldiers and dice.
Yeah.
I never thought. And then, you know, I got exposed to the books, and then I hear, oh, yeah, you can put together your own models and paint them pretty, and then you can roll dice at each other. Mm-hmm. Well, let me try this shit. Mm-hmm. Oh, this is fun.
Yeah, yeah. So you never know what you might like, you know? Here's the thing. I grew up a little bit, I'm not going to say privileged, I'll say different than a lot of my friends. You know what I mean? A lot of my dad, you know, was a state rep. My mom was a teacher. You know, and then my mom went into politics. So I was a little bit different. You know, I just got a little bit differently than a lot of my friends. I was exposed to a lot of different things just because my parents were able to, you know, finance different things, like skiing. Like, are you doing the pee-pee dance?
Yeah. It's been an hour.
Go ahead, man. Hey, Mickey ain't here. I'm about to go on for a minute.
Let me hit you with something real quick. My first experience in skiing was when I was in the Army, and then I saw a snowboard, so I jumped on that.
Yeah.
This finger came back and touched here.
Look at my thumb. Look.
Yeah.
That's snowboard.
Nope. Yeah, so, I don't do downhill sports no more.
Yeah. So, but the point is, y'all, I'm gonna just talk to y'all. So I'm gonna go over by a couple minutes. If you expose people to something, if you expose a child to something and let them see something that they have never, or experience something that they've never experienced, you never know what type of motivation that might give them. You know what I mean? My dad had a baseball team growing up. We played at Longfellow. That park that's right out there used to be a baseball diamond, and we played there. And we had all type of kids that, grew up, you know, way different than me on the team, but they had never played baseball, and we exposed them to baseball. Not even we. My dad exposed them to baseball. Like it's so much that if our kids were exposed to anything, they would be dope at it. We don't know. All we got to do is expose them to it, give them the bat and the ball and the glove and let them work. Like I just feel like our kids have been deprived for so long. You know what I mean? For 30 years, our kids have been, getting the ass into everything.
Mm-hmm.
You can go to any one of these county schools, any one of them. Pick one. Just pick one. I don't know. They got
I don't know schools outside of Flint.
They got new football fields. They got new baseball diamonds. They got new jerseys. They got new this. They got new that. Like I took pictures at Grand Blanc Stadium the other day. So this is what $44 million looks like. This is a complex. This is a complex. Now, true enough, Grand Blanc got 2 campuses, and a lot of kids they're not hurting for money because they can even ask their community for money and they can
Grand Blanc.
You know what I mean? But if you look at any of them, Davison, Flushing, Grand Blanc, Sports Creek, Mount Morris, even Beecher's getting new stuff. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not saying that like even Beecher, like they, but Beecher is a predominantly black, area too. Everywhere is thriving, but look at us. Hamity you're right. Hamity got a new stadium. Everybody but Flint.
Yeah.
Flint, and I hate to say it, and I'm not saying that people are dumb, but the decision was dumb AF to give away the gym at Atwood Stadium. How much money do you think that pro soccer team generates that plays down there?
Pro?
Or semi-pro or whatever it is, but they generate revenue. That revenue could have been coming back into Flint community schools.
Yeah.
What they do, they gave away for $1.
Yeah. Oh, well, the taxes on it, if you guys even, or the utilities, I'm like, shit, that team will pay for it.
How do you think Robert Smith feels after giving the city of Flint, our school district, or whoever it was, $250,000 to fix Atwood Stadium up, and they give it away?
Shit, I'd be pissed.
What about Mark Ingram that played his games, that won the Heisman? The only person from Flint to win a Heisman. Played at Atwood Stadium.
I'd be pissed.
Like this stuff that goes on with the Flint schools is like this just the city in general, but I'm just gonna say the Flint schools because that's what I'm a part of. And it's not this board, it's not the previous board, it's the last 30 years worth of people that we all looked up to.
It's a multi-decade long problem of misappropriation of funds, of giving away assets for favors, of turning their nose up at money because X, Y, and Z that could have gone to helping these kids' futures, gone to helping keeping these schools clean, organized, up to date, up to code, all this shit. And it's just been bad decisions either based on ego or on pride or on selfish financial interest.
And this is the part that pisses me off the most. It ain't got nothing to do with the money, but it does. How many kids' lives do you think would have been different if the people who sit in the position that I sit in had been doing the right shit over the past 30 years? How many kids do you think that wouldn't be in the prison system? How many kids do you think wouldn't be dead? How many kids do you think would be doctors, lawyers, or even a fucking astronaut? Excuse me.
I mean,
you know what I'm saying? If the people who sit where I'm sitting at had been doing the right thing.
There's this kid about 23 years old, unemployed. He runs up and down my block and he will shovel your snow for you. He will mow your lawn for you. And this kid doesn't have like a lawnmower. He has one of those little push mowers without a motor in it.
Oh, like the one with the blades, like on Lassie?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So he'll do that. And that's how he makes ends meet, right? The kid, all he cares about is getting some hard work done and bringing home some cash at the end of the day. And he doesn't like easy jobs. I mean, I respect the hell out of this kid. He was mowing my across the street neighbor's yard once, and she wasn't home. She'd paid him and then bounced. I see him sweating his was sweating his brains out.
Mm-hmm.
I went over there. I'm like, hey, dude, here's a bottle of water. When you're thirsty again, come pound on my door over there. I got 3 bottles of water in that fridge for you. Okay. Could you imagine with that kind of work ethic if the schools had not have failed him? And I hate to say it like that, but it's true. Where he'd be today?
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
Yep.
had he gotten the education he deserves? Had he gotten the motivation? Had he gotten the encouragement to follow through with whatever the hell he wanted to follow through with?
Mm-hmm.
That kind of work ethic, hell, he could be a top rated engineer right now.
Mm-hmm.
You know, he could have gone to Kettering and then be designing cars if he wanted to.
Mm-hmm.
Shit, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And now he's stuck pushing a motorless lawnmower until something good comes along, which I hope it does.
Because he could easily be out here hitting old ladies upside the head, stealing their purses, or
Yeah.
hitting cars, or
I mean, so the other day I actually saw him again. Is middle of us and be able to spell it right. Damn. Yeah, middle of a snowstorm. So it was like about a month ago, right? I went up to Club Sunoco,
Mm-hmm.
go grab my smokes and my Red Bull. And I see him outside. I'm like, hey, dude, what are you doing? He's like, hey, I'm just trying to get a couple bucks for the bus so I can get to this next job. And this guy pushes past me, like literally pushes me and yells at the kid, you know, they have job applications inside. Yada. I'm like, bro, I'm about to beat your ass inside the store right now. I look at the kid. I'm like, nah, come in with me. I got him a cup of coffee. And then, he's 20 something. So I bought him a cigar. He wanted a Black and Mild.
Yeah.
I drove him to his next job.
Oh, you talking about the dark skinned dude? That's up that like he kind of asked for money. Is that
Yeah, skinny kid.
Yeah,
he works on my block a lot.
I feel so sorry for that dude.
He's cool as shit.
Yeah,
he bust his hump. I drove him to where he was trying to get to on that, like, because that bus you're gonna take forever. X, Y, and Z. Like, bro, just hop in the truck. Let's go. I like that kid.
Every family around Flint has moved out or has their kids going to schools outside of Flint or charter schools. That's why Flint has nothing now. We have lost our schools and students too, so we have lost the revenues to help the district pay for the teachers to stay. Even the teachers are getting better offers in other areas. That is 100% true. That is 100% true. And I'm not going to lie to you. I was one of those people that was working in the district in 2014 that got their money taken. I didn't have the resilience that these teachers do because you know what I did?
I got bills to pay.
I chunked the deuce. I had, I got kids. I'm paying child support. I chunked the deuce. I left.
Mm-hmm.
I left. You know what I mean? And imagine, some of the people that when I'm looking out on the stage and looking out into the crowd and I see these people, some of these people worked with me.
Mm-hmm.
I worked with them at these schools. When they're protesting, it's like the feeling that I get. It's hard for me to look out there and knowing that I worked with you, rubbed shoulders with you on the front lines with these kids.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. Like that's it, and I'm not saying that anybody else on that stage don't feel some type of way. You know what I mean? Because some other people, worked for the district at some different capacities. But for me, and the way that I, put my heart and soul into the kids and stuff like that, it's like I know what y'all do on a daily basis because I know what I do on a daily basis.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? For the kids, for the district.
For the crib midgets.
Right. So it's like, that's I don't know. But how about we just go to 1:30? Like who?
I'm fine.
Mickey ain't here.
Every time Mickey don't show up, you're like, Mickey ain't here.
Mickey ain't here.
Mickey ain't
I'm about to start hitting buttons.
All right, but you know what? We've been on for hour 14 minutes, so I'm not a shill, but we got bills. Hit that Cash App.
Let me
810 or $810 News Media Group. Or Wintus got us this really cool deal with Beautify. Get your 810 merch. Show it around. Oh, if you any of y'all from I don't know.
Oh, here it is. My bad.
Yeah. Go ahead and if you got spare change, go ahead and chuck it in that. If not, that's cool. Your love and support. Always a like and the subscribe is a huge help. Mm-hmm. I need to get my ass back on that shorts thing now that I got my computer fixed.
I just quit doing it.
Dude,
like, man, I ain't got time.
So my motherboard shorted. Mm-hmm. And then as soon as I got that fixed, I got this large ass case, and I have a cradle that I made my desk for my old case. Well, it didn't fit down there, so my cat got on top, and he decided he was going to be sick. Threw up, blew up my 2080 graphics card.
Oh wow.
Yeah, so then it was down for another few days. Now I got a 3060, which doesn't work as well, but it's newer and more expensive. I don't understand how this shit works.
I mean, I went to Flint school in the 80s. You speaking Japanese to me right now.
I mean, yeah. Anyway, so now that I finally got everything back up and working almost to spec, I can jump back on shorts.
Okay.
But yeah, to
So,
everyone who
Mr.
says that
Pony.
we make a dime or a buck off of someone else's name and the way calling them out on the shit, we're still unmonetized, so bite me. Just say that.
So we've had big sports names come out of Flint. Risen, Miller, Turner, Mitchell, actors, music grades. Still bad water for thirsty athletes. Lost homes, no education of how to come up off of it. No roofs or food or furnaces for teachers or jobs or nothing, etc. But throw them a ball when starving, poor kids. Well, um,
Hey, look, Flint schools will still provide 2 meals a day at
I
very
was gonna
least.
say we were sending kids food home when the teachers didn't come to work, but I don't know what else to do. What else I have the authority to do, and I don't even have the authority to do what I want to do. I've got to convince 3 other people to do it. You know what I mean? So
Like,
I don't.
I don't think that was like a shot towards you. I think we've had so many people of note come through Flint, grow up in Flint,
right.
But Flint itself doesn't care about itself, and people outside of Flint
See that.
either see that or have contributed to it. I mean, granted, we've got people from all over the country now, thanks to Mr. Mays and his legacy, that are showing an interest and a care. Before that, though, like Flint is, I mean, hell, many places still, especially corporations, nonprofits, and rich folk, look at Flint as a place to come to get a quick come up. Screw the kids, screw the folks that live here, screw the infrastructure here. Come into Flint, get your money, get the fuck out. And when I say get your money, these rich folks are looking at hundreds of thousands, if not millions of dollars a pop. Some come, get money, leave, come back, get more. This is their entire livelihood. It's that poverty pimping lifestyle.
Yeah. And we just sit back and take it.
I mean,
we just sit back and
after years of getting beat down, because we've turned poverty into our industry. It used to be the automotive industry that left. So, we got to save the people of Flint. All these nonprofits pop up, they cash their money, and then they realize how much money that actually is. Hundreds of thousands, millions. And I'm just going to pretend I was never here.
Oh, and don't think that these big philanthropists are doing all this stuff out the kindness of their hearts.
Oh, hell no.
They have to, especially and this is not a shot to the Mott Foundation, but they have to give away, I think it's $200 million a year, write it so they can write it off. So it's like, okay, well, we got to give this stuff away. We have to do charity work.
And it drops their tax bracket, which, mind you, at that level, those tax brackets are huge. Drops them in tax brackets, so they not only do they get a tax write-off, they can also claim so many 501c3s, not pay taxes on those, period. And they pay less in overall taxes because they've dropped down so much money.
So
that's just giving away $200 million a year or so, right? Is worth to them about 500.
Yeah. So that's that's why if you I can't sit back and just be idle and watch us at the state level not get any representation.
No,
I can't sit back and it's like, okay, well, I saw how much the current mayor gave a problem to the former mayor while he was sitting in his position. What if I was sitting at that position while he's sitting at the mayor, and I would have the authority to do certain things? You know what I mean?
I mean, if you have the authority for one, and two, you have the ear of certain regulatory committees. Hell, the state comptroller. Hey, why don't you go?
What's up?
What is it? audit Flint finances and see where money's going.
Mhm.
Make sure it's all on the up and up. Hey,
The tax, whatever the tax people name are, the people,
the state revenue
yeah,
service.
yeah.
Then you've got, all right, hey, State Bureau of Investigations, which
Mhm.
once again, those guys are fucking thorough. Uh, uh, anyway, State Bureau of Investigations. Hey, we've got a lot of reports of corruption coming out of Flint. I
Treasury,
don't
yep.
know if it's legit or not, but I'd like you to investigate. I want to make sure that my district is fucking clean. And just send all that here. And then on the back end, go onto the floor. My city's been impoverished for X, Y, and Z. We've been beat down for X, Y, and Z. I'm not asking you for money or state money like that. I'm asking you for changes in our resolutions and policies and laws that make it to where
fair.
cities like Flint can step up. We
Right.
don't need a handout. We need a hand up. We want to stand on our own.
Yeah, that's. Hold on. Yeah, you're right, John. I was just saying, like, I can't control what people want to do with their money. All I can control right now is what I can, what I can influence. I ain't got no money, you know what I mean? But I can kind of influence that our kids get this, you know what I mean? Like,
Mhm.
just it, and I don't, I wasn't the best student. I keep saying this. I was an athlete scholar. I didn't give a shit about going to college. I wanted to go. I knew I had to go to college because to go to NFL. I had NFL dreams. I had Olympic dreams. I was, you know what I'm saying? But once those things are taken via injury or whatever, you know what I'm saying? Then it's like, okay, well, now you got to rethink plan B.
Man, my happy ass. I wanted to go to Colorado Springs Air Force Academy and be a pilot.
Mhm.
And then I learned a couple health issues would prevent me from that. Like, well, what's the next best thing? I want to go get shot at. So college was never in my cards after I decided that. Like, I tried when I got out. My brain don't work too well.
But again, college isn't for everybody.
No,
That's why
I'm definitely a hands-on guy.
That's why
learning now.
I'm trying to say that we need to bring these trades back. We need trades.
That's something I'd love to see the state start.
Right.
Like,
But
hey, all these, I love U of M.
Mhm.
Not so much state, only because if I said I love state, my wife would beat me. Right? Don't get me wrong. And they do provide a lot of good services. They do provide a lot of damn good education. All the colleges and universities around here do this. But I'd like to see trade schools start getting some of that funding too, because you can have an engineer all day long, right? But who's making sure they get electricity? Who's actually putting the shit together? Who's actually welding things for them and doing X, Y, and Z? It's a trade school. So you can have all the thought in the world, all the smarts in the world, but without the know-how and someone willing to get their hands dirty to do it, it ain't getting done.
Just the thought. And here's my thought. I think I said, well, no, I said it on the clubhouse the other night. We have a city that's actually paying young ladies to get pregnant, right? The RX kids, right? So why can't the school district bring back home economics so these young ladies that are getting paid to have babies that may or may not have skills to raise a child or even raise themselves, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Why not give them one of the 110 different skills that you have from having a home ec class?
So when I was growing up, late 90s, early 2000s, my dad owned a pest control company, and we would, do pest control around the schools in Douglas. The high school, you want to know what their home ec class was? Just how to cook. That's it.
Shoot, man. In Southwestern, Miss Labradin had because we all had to take it, but we were learning how to cook, sew buttons on shirts, iron shirts. You know what I mean? Like iron
Take
clothes.
care of your damn finances.
Do I remember that part? Probably, but
like you gotta balance out your bills and your income.
Yeah.
You've got to. There's 1,001 skills that just needs to come back. Period. Like, even if that certain program wasn't paying young ladies to go out and get pregnant, the kids need that anyway.
Right.
Like, hey, you've got $1,000 in bills, you got $1,200 in income. Oh, that's not actually going to cover it because you got taxes, and then you've got groceries, you've got gas.
Yeah,
you're either gonna have to pick up a second job or a better job, or you're gonna have to cut some stuff back.
Right. Or get a boyfriend or get a girlfriend.
Yeah, a second income into the
house,
residence.
So yeah, so even if because they're still gonna expect the young men, because the girls ain't getting pregnant on their own.
Yeah.
They're not, was it asexual? Is that what those animals are? They just reproduce on their own without where they're
asexual
not,
reproduction.
So like these people are, this is like
they aren't reproducing through God, is it meiosis?
It's not photosynthesis, that's plants, right?
Plants don't even reproduce through that. That's how they generate their energy.
But no, it's some type of process, you know what I mean? But if they're still going to expect the young men to pay child support, then they need a trade or something too. So they're going to need a skill. They're going to need mechanics or bricklaying or
and it's easy to get
even into cosmetology. Look at Maurice Davis. He was the shit. You know what I mean? Like doing hair back in the day. I don't know if he still does, but he even says he'll do lashes and all like that. Like just the trade of bring it. You bring in money.
Mm-hmm.
Go ahead.
I mean, like getting into a trade school faster, fuck ton cheaper. I mean, a metric ton cheaper than going to college. Mm-hmm. And there's almost always guaranteed a job on the back end. Whereas like you go for a business degree, my best friend Turner from the Army, like he was my gunner. I was freezing to death in the field, and this man cuddled me, make sure I didn't die. My first field trip up here in Michigan. He's got a 4-year business degree, and he's not able to use it because no one in Detroit was hiring for someone hiring someone with a bachelor's degree in business. So he's still running around doing 3 jobs. Granted, Turner likes to work, so he's happy as can be. Right. And so there was no back end job for a college degree for him. However, if he had gone to a trade school, there's like 6 to 15 different companies within a 3-mile radius, always looking for someone. And they're willing to bid and compete on salary for you. Like you're a welder, shit, go talk to this company, this company, this company. Let them know that you're talking to each of these companies and see.
They're going to negotiate their
they're going to outbid each other. Yeah. Oh, you want 21 an hour? Oh, you know what? He's offering 20. I'll give you 23. Oh, and you work 4 days a week. Oh, and you get X amount of days off. Trades are in high demand, but no one's talking about it. You don't see commercials about it. No. You don't see, people on YouTube on promoted videos sitting there telling you about a trade and X, Y, and Z, or, they own a business that needs welders and how much they're willing to pay and yada, yada. No, you see people talking about college. Hey, go ahead and put yourself $100,000 in debt.
Here's the thing about, in the 90s, they were preaching, at least, our generation, they were teaching us as blacks that you got to go to college. You got to, look at the Cosby Show, look at a different world. It's like, they got the nuclear family, the mom, dad, kids. The kids go to school every day. Everybody's happy. They come home, they eat dinner at the table, then they go off to college. And then you got this other show that comes on, A Different World, and it shows the college life, whatever. That's what we were, they were trying to preach to us in the 90s. Okay. In 2000s, you know what I mean? Like it was positivities, go to school, blah, 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 blah. Well, a lot of those people didn't make it in college. They made it there, but they didn't last.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They took classes, they flunked out, they did this, you know what I mean? Me being one of them, I went to this school and did this and partied and bullshitted. And
hey, you still walked away with a degree.
You know what I mean? So but still, it was, it's 8 years, 9 years when it's supposed to be 4. You know what I mean? Like, but now the whole paradigm has shifted. It's like, okay, well, now we don't have the same amount of parents and that are teaching us to or preaching go to school and further your education. Now it's especially in Flint, it's more like shit, just
do whatever you can, make your money.
Make it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And we don't have the people in the district anymore. Those that they all retired and left. They got old and left. That are preaching the same. You know what I'm saying? Like that. Yeah. So, and now we need trades. We don't have the system. The district. I don't know what they did with the skill center. But
that was further up. The stupidest thing FCS ever done was selling the skill center.
So I remember I never went to the skill center because again, my parents are gonna make me go to college. You know what I mean? Like it's
Yep,
like
yep.
what you don't need to go over here. You need to go do your work because you're about to get the scholarship. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, whatever. But at the end of the day, I graduated with like a 2.7 or something like that. I wasn't the best student. You know what
You
I mean?
graduated.
But going to me just going to Houston as an 18-year-old, sheltered 18-year-old, coming out of Flint, sheltered. I'm gonna say that again.
Sheltered.
I was one of them ones that had to be at home when the street lights came on, even in the 10th grade, 11th grade. You know what I'm saying? It's like I wasn't out like that. So sheltered, being released into the mean streets of the South Side of Houston. You know what I'm saying? It was like this is a whole different world. I'm
Aladdin,
not
that
going to
that
school.
song in Aladdin was playing for you. A whole
Yeah, it's
new
like
world.
I'm not going to school. I'm going over here. I'm going to football practice and I'm going to weightlifting. I ain't going to study hall. I'm going over here. You know what I'm saying?
They
And
have pretty girls over here.
yeah, it was like, like I'm like, and so I probably should have gotten a trade.
Hmm?
But I just happened to be good in football and they paid for my first year. But then again, I got hurt. So it was like, what do I fall back on?
Oopsie.
I've already proven I'm not the best student.
Yeah.
I'm smart. I just don't like,
Don't put a
I'm
book in
not the
front of you and
best
expect you to
student. You
pay
know what I'm saying?
attention.
But now, um, Miss, hold on, I see Miss Smith. I've been ignoring the comments. I'm sorry, y'all. Mr. Clackman, you kept trying to encourage my son to go to college, but I told him not to listen to you because most kids accumulate a lot of debt. That is true. Most kids, no, not most. Well,
All.
yeah, I mean,
Like,
accumulate a lot of debt. That is true.
unless you got something like a GI Bill backing you, you're picking up debt walking into school.
Mhm.
And there's a lot of reasons for that. One of them, once again, is always falls the government. But yeah, no. Uh, what's your kid do now, Miss Lisa?
I don't
Like,
want to ask what's his name.
nah, not on you.
Yeah.
I mean, there's probably a couple dozen Smiths that you can think of off the top of your head. But yeah, what's your kid do now? Because not to listen. Like, did you get your kid to go into a trade or any of that?
Mhm.
I'm actually very curious to hear. Like, I'm a huge fan of trades, and like Stephanie Rogers said, plumber, electricians, mechanics will never be broke.
During the pandemic, we just not just, but we went through the pandemic and kids were going to school from home.
Uh-huh.
People were working from home. The plumber and the electrician were working overtime.
Yep.
They were getting paid. You know what I mean? Like people were at home, eat more. You didn't even need to be hungry to walk past the refrigerator and just go in there and open it up and eat something. So what
Yep.
goes in must come out.
Yep.
And everybody in the nation was eating and
Dude,
on the internet.
the I like Gold Rush, that show, even though it's 90% drama now.
Mhm.
There's this guy from the Netherlands, and he owns a gold mining company up in the Yukon. His daughter was getting married to a plumber.
Mhm.
Now, mind you, this guy from the Netherlands, multimillionaire, this plumber, maybe has like 10, 20 grand in the bank. He goes, am I disappointed she's not marrying another millionaire? Hell no. Everyone has to shit. He'll always have to work.
Yeah, yeah.
So like job security was a big deal to him. I'm like, all right, that's where I first started thinking like, damn, trades is where it's at.
Yeah, yeah. So Miss Smith, I didn't, I no disrespect. I wasn't trying to, force their son into debt. I must have, recognized that he had, some maybe a high intelligence
That
level or something
and
like
let's
that.
face it, dude, as a teacher in any district, whether it be a charter school, Flint's, private school, the administration and the entire culture is to push the kids toward college.
Mhm.
If you I'm pretty sure I've heard some horror stories about teachers down in Texas. And mind you, Texas is like salt of the earth rednecks, right? That have gotten fired for telling their kids to go to trade schools
Hmm.
instead of college.
Hmm.
Like that's just the culture in a school. Education always build up education, scholastics, and academia. What if kid just wants to go out and work electric lines?
That's so whatever because and we got oh shit we over but I remember I took a group of kids, a bunch of my kids to Mott And we visited the nursing program, the mechanic program, and this is when I first learned about the laser print. Is it a laser printer where they make guns?
3D printer.
3D printer, yeah, not laser printer. My bad, y'all.
Man,
the 3D printer.
You're going all 2A on that, and my mind instantly goes to like I could print so many models, and I wouldn't have to pay Games Workshop prices.
My bad, but yeah, and we learned about we took them in the nursing program, and
itchy ass nose.
I saw there was a bunch of schools there,
mm-hmm.
And I was talking to some of their teachers and administrators who had brought their kids over, and we were the only school from we're the only school for Flint.
But there you go, Anna.
But these kids were taking classes like farming and horticulture, and then these were school districts like Birch Run and Linden and Lapeer, and they were taking classes like that. And why would they be taking those classes? Because in their society, in their area,
their subculture,
right? So it's like they take stuff. It's like they have their immediate interest. Like we know that your dad owns a farm, but a lot of the population of these students come off that rural farming, whatever. So they why not teach them how to maintain? I don't even know how they teach them how to shuck corn or what, or I don't know what it is, but they teach it's in their. They learn how to do it. They learn how to plant. They learn how to
There's a lot of back end science that goes into that. So taking soil pH levels, taking soil sulfur levels, figuring out which crops to rotate so you don't completely deplete. Because
so you don't
if you throw corn in several years in a row, you're going to deplete the sulfur levels, right? But if you throw in corn one year and then do tomatoes the next year, the tomatoes will replenish some of that sulfur level, but deplenish some of the phosphate level. So you just keep rotating between three like that. You actually have to, and then you actually have to take scoops of the dirt and then test that shit to see which crop to grow next year. Like there's a lot of back end science on that.
Yeah, and see, Anna says animal science. Yeah. But yeah, this is just we don't have that option. We don't have an alternative option with the Flint schools, and that's what I was trying to create.
I don't know. I've driven past some houses around here that had chickens running around them.
I have too.
Which that blew my damn mind.
You can go
Inner city Flint.
You can go out to Dirtville part of Beecher, and there's a lot of people that got chickens over there.
Yeah, like middle of Flint, I'm hearing chickens and clucking. I'm like, and someone's smart. That not only do they have meat in emergency, they got a constant source of eggs. Yeah. All right.
Yeah. So yeah, we're gonna. Anybody? I'm gonna read these wasted degrees. Our marketing business. Hold on. Our marketing business political. Our marketing business political. We need to get more into STEM focused, and that is true. I took and I'm just gonna say this. Like, I was facilitating a STEM program for some kids a couple of years back. And I was learning stuff because I didn't even know, STEM was a part of everything. You know what I mean? Like, even with the location of trees on the city, on the streets, even the way a building faces, or even the way a school bus is yellow on the sides and white at the bottom. Even, like everything is particular. Everything is like strategic. It's not just matter of fact. Everything is, it's there for a reason.
If you have too many trees too close together, they're going to rip up not only the sidewalk or the street. Those roots are going to expand and they're going to start ripping down buildings. Like, yeah, there's a lot.
Yeah, everything that, and then the lady that was teaching the class, she's talking to the kids and they're like, for real? And I'm like in the back of the class and I'm like, for real? But yeah, it's just like, you don't really pay attention to everything, but everything is like that for a reason. And some dude somewhere was thinking, we got to face this building northwest because the sun and, whatever. And we got to, it's just everything that she was saying. It made sense. You know what I mean? Like STEM affects everything. Our kids, and it's not just Flint, this is as a nation, we don't fall in the top 10 in any of the STEM subjects.
No. I think we dropped off like late 90s. Like so Japan and Netherlands. Well, Netherlands and then all of Norway.
the top 5 in
started
each are
kicking
in
our
Asia.
ass. Yeah.
And then goes the Netherlands and stuff
Norway,
like that.
like the Scandinavian.
Yeah. But the top 5 in each are Asian countries.
Yeah. China, Japan, South Korea. I want to say Thailand.
It was like some smaller ones. You know what I'm saying? Like India was up in there, scattered around. It was, but yeah, it was like United States 11, 12, 17. You know what I mean? 15.
I'm still not disappointed with that, but I would like to be a lot higher.
Well, if you see how much money and resources we got to be taking everybody else's stuff, you would think that we'd be good at we'd be good at math and calculated whatever. But whatever.
I mean, that's really easy math. 1 nuclear bomb equals do what I say. That's really easy math. Or the world economy being based off the US dollar means do what I say or I turn off your bank account.
And you see a lot of people are starting to say, I'm straight on that dollar. Y'all can keep that.
And then we also see a lot of people starting to be dumb as rocks and relying on that too much and not able to take care of themselves. Like, how are you going to be a grown ass person and not know certain job, like certain tasks around your house? How to wash a fucking dish? Like, I grew up, I don't want to say blessed, but dad was extremely handy. I know how to repair drywall. I know how to, hang up shelves and all things like that. I can repair my own home. I can do things with my water heater, with my furnace. I still don't play with electricity.
Yeah, I ain't doing that. I ain't lighting no pilots on jack.
Like, I can, actually, we never had gas in my house. We were all electric. I can work some on my vehicles, not a whole lot, but, then again, once again, blessed, not blessed. The man across the street whose daughter I married happens to be a GM certified master mechanic. There's a lot of things, and I've taught him things how to do, and he's taught me. Like, I didn't know how to change out an alternator until I was 25. Now I know. That's something I'll never have to learn again. Like, I don't understand how people can sit on their ass their entire life and not figure out how to do some of these simple ass tasks.
Yeah, I learned how to do all that stuff because my dad wasn't the most handy. You know what I mean? Like, my uncles were, and my dad had like rental properties, so he would hire my uncles to fix the drywall or put roofs on houses, and I've done all that type of stuff. I definitely know how to put alternator on the car because my uncle, he always, shout out to Uncle Doug, man. But yeah,
my dad used to trade knowledge back before he got out of the Navy. Like, hey, I need to fix up this hole in my wall, and you go to a neighbor that he knows how to do it. You'd be like, hey, what work do you need done on your car? Neighbor would be like, well, I could use timing on my spark plugs, right? Or gauging. Yeah. My dad'd be like, all right. Or no, he'd say, my engine sounds off, it's firing off. My dad would go, okay, I'll teach you how to fix that if you teach me how to, do this drywall or whatever. And the guy would say, how about I just do it for you? My dad goes, we're not always going to be neighbors. You won't always have me to fall back on for your mechanic issues, and I won't always have you to fall back on to repair my house. So let's teach each other, just a straight barter. And then he took those skills, passed it to me and my brother.
Yeah,
that's one of the things I'm most grateful for, because now I'm not paying a handyman. And, one of the things I learned when I moved up here and started working with Medeja Construction, handyman specials are fucking shit.
Yeah.
You pull one board out and you like see 6 others that weren't nailed and they just fall through the wall. Like, handyman special? No.
Yeah.
I'm glad I don't pay for that.
I guess we can wrap up. So I'm going to say this name real quick. Charlotte Thompson Iserby. She is
Who doing what now?
Charlotte Thompson Iserby.
Okay.
I forgot exactly what her title was, but she explains a lot about in the past about what's going on with the public school system currently.
Okay.
So I know that they've taken a lot of her works down. Actually, Jan Marie Arbor, she's the one that kind of pointed me in this.
The Red Bull thief.
Yeah, her.
I love her to death, but she stole my Red Bull. That's a grudge. That's a grudge that's going to last life. All right, go ahead.
Oh, but John, okay, I'm glad you said that. I'm glad you said that, because this is something that I would do immediately after being elected state rep. I would have, I guess it wouldn't be a day, but I guess a day when students from the Flint schools could come down and actually see what goes on a day, on a day when a session,
honestly, rotate out the schools.
Something like that. Yeah.
Your fifth and sixth graders for, say, DTM, come on the first Monday in April, and then the second Monday in April, next school. And then as things get more complicated down, like we've got this really
got that many schools.
Oh, I know, but like we got this really complicated bill coming up. Let's get the high schoolers in here for this one,
right?
Because they'll have a better understanding than a bunch of fifth and sixth graders,
right? No, this is not my idea. Okay, let me get this out there. This is not my idea.
You picked this up off someone else.
My dad.
There you go.
I picked it up from my dad. So it was like, why don't why is that not a thing still? You know what I mean?
Because when people understand how governance works, then they understand how to change the governance.
Yes, they did used to do that, Miss. I know that my dad used to do it. I know that. So that's where I got the idea from. I don't know other reps that do it, but I know that he did. One of the things that before I close out, what you were talking about, and I didn't want to interrupt you. I would some type of way try to find a way to have an office here in Flint.
Yeah. You really should.
So we could be here and available to the people. Even on days when I wouldn't be here, I would have to be forced to be in Lansing. I would like for an office to be here in Flint just to hear.
Even if not in Flint, the township, it's still close because let's face it, not being exactly playing in the same court as some of the political officials around here. B, being on 810. You're shut out from a lot of places. We found that out when we were looking for a studio. You remember me, Mickey, and Went just sitting there bitch moaning, complaining on the phone.
Don't go over there. I told y'all don't go.
You
over
told us that one, and then there were like three others. They're like, "Oh, you do that political stuff," or well, we're friends with X, Y, and Z.
Yeah,
a lot of places are close to you now. Township ain't bad, man. It's a decent enough place, unless you have someone that is open enough. Like, if just think about it like this: if you are shut out of Flint, make sure you have an office somewhere where people from Flint can easily get to. Is all I'm saying.
Where would we find a reputable politician?
Do
I gotta go get in front of the camera? I'm just playing, man. Yeah, but no, I could dig it. Yeah,
the 1800s is long gone, where all the crooked politicians shot each other in the back of Congress. I don't know where you're gonna find one now. Yeah. On a national level.
Yeah, but yeah, y'all, we've been over for about 49 minutes. I'm 49 minutes late for an appointment I forgot about. It's all right. I just will call.
Yeah, I need to call my student loan servicer and be like, "Hey, I'm 100%. So let's get to talking some turkey here."
Yeah. So yeah, also civic groups are invited to advocate for issues. Yeah, I mean, used to be politician. Yeah. I forgot which one of those buttons is crickets. I think it's this one.
If it ain't, then you guys just got the weirdest sound effect for the wrongest thing.
Hold on, it might be this one.
Now you're just flooding it with all sorts of weird shit.
I think that one. I think the blue one is crickets. No, blue one is. Oh shoot! Where's the cheat sheet at?
Man, I don't know. Mickey hides things from me now.
He didn't want nobody hitting the button.
Yeah, Mickey hides things from me now.
All right, Trevor. Anything you want to say before we get up out of here?
No, I'm tired.
Oh, my bad, free.
I'm. Like, I'll be 100% honest with you. I'm tired of watching people fight for a city and then the city not fight for itself. That the harder some people fight, the more things stay the same. And it's killing me on the inside. It's one of those, like, you're watching a train wreck slowly happen, or you're watching someone slowly bleed out and they're sitting there celebrating it. You know, here in a month or two, we're going to have people celebrating being poisoned, not understanding the connotation of we are dumb enough to be happy about being poisoned and still not getting paid for it. I'm tired of this shit, guys. And the more I fight, the more Wentus fights, the more Mickey fights, the more Clack fights, the more, Miss Marlowe fights, the more Jan fights, the more Miss McIntosh fights, the more things stay the same. And it's getting on my nerves to the point where I just want to grab everyone, shake them, and yell, "Why the fuck don't you wake up?" And I'm trying to figure out where I can find the motivation to keep on doing this if the only people that seem to care are the ones that don't live in the same area code. Just saying. Like, we just lost an inspirational leader of a generation. And it seems like the only people that care are the ones that directly knew him, which good, you should, and people who watch his TikTok. Whereas the people that he directly influenced and stood up for, it's another day to them. And it's just time for them to find another pseudo voice.
Is that Flint Town, Anna? Who knows? There could be 100 different documentaries out there about Flint. Now, I'm actually been working on one, but
then you got absolutely everything going on, so you don't even get time to edit and film.
I just got tons and tons of footage and stuff. But just to kind of wrap up, I agree with you, man. It's frustrating.
Mm-hmm.
It's frustrating because I know, there are people around Flint that are benefiting from this administration. It's people that are benefiting,
mm-hmm.
And then when you start fighting for when you start fighting an honest fight or fighting for the people, the amount of resistance that comes or the amount of pushback that comes toward you.
And sometimes it's the people you're fighting for that fight the hardest against you.
Right.
Like, they've been so brainwashed. It's like trying to convince a sheep that he's going to slaughter instead of getting his wool cut.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And I'll just speak on, because I'm not going to say everything, you know what I mean? Like, I'm not going to put my business, all of it out. But just know that there's a fight going on here. And the fight isn't fair. It's not a fair fight. We're trying to fight this battle with truth and honesty and transparency.
Mm-hmm.
And the pushback is coming from all different ways, all different angles, and all different sides. And it's like, it's almost unbearable. It's almost unreal. It's almost not even worth fighting. You know what I'm saying? Because when you look around, when you keep on losing things,
mm-hmm.
You keep on, getting knocked down, or you keep on, you know what I'm saying? And you can tell I'm choosing my words, what I want to say. You know,
man, seeing targeted harassment policies at city council, like, now you see Rich Jones sneeze, you got a warning. Now you see Wintus pick up a pen, and if it makes a tap on that paper too hard, you got a warning. Mm-hmm. You see Art sit there and go, under his breath, mind you, because he's trying to be respectful of the meeting, and this is stupid. And he gets escorted out. Mm-hmm. You see people standing up against getting ripped off and getting arrested. Mm-hmm. And that's just the examples that I see at city council. Now there's an entire damn city.
Yeah.
There's an entire city that this shit happens. And at some point, I question if people's lives would be easier if I didn't fight for them. And I know the answer is always no. Mm-hmm. Like, at the end of the day, we will hopefully get through and things will be better, and not just for ourselves. Mind you, I'm a greedy man. I'm a self-centered man. I just fight for what would make things better in my life, in my tax bracket, and that just happens to positively affect everyone around me if things were to go the way that I want, right?
Yeah, but I was talking about the sacrifice, the individual sacrifice, of all the BS that comes. You know what I'm saying? All the stuff, that the barriers and that people put in your way to try to deter you from keeping up in the fight. You know what I'm saying? I.e., someone calling my job, getting me fired. I.e., this over here. I.e., this over here. All these things that happen, and it's not just me. You know what I'm saying? Like it's, you guys are going through stuff too. You know what I mean? Like it's just, I'm just gonna say, hard fight right now. So That's pretty much all I wanted to say. I guess that's you done?
Yep.
Guess that's a wrap, y'all.
I just wanted to bitch, moan, and complain for a minute.
Thanks for tuning in.
And remember the immortal words of Clack on what is today? March 20th, 2024. Caffeine.
And politics is so political. All right, y'all, man. All right, we out of here.